night for us gamers out there. Thank you for tuning in.
Welcome to our podcast where we are just a group of friends who continues to push through challenges, leveling up together. Regardless of the obstacle or circumstances we may face, we always find a way to keep grinding and gaining the experience we need to overcome them all. If you're looking for a place to relax, share some laughs, or gain a fresh perspective on things that matter to you, stop by and join the amazing legacy we aim to create. We're just a group of boys that met up in high school, chilled around, played a couple of games here and there, and we graduated from high school, went our separate ways, and we always had gaming and anime in the back of our heads, and we kept doing it daily, reconnected, and we're starting a podcast. We're going to be talking about a lot of things in the anime world as well as in the game industry, past and current.
I guess we could all start introducing ourselves.
Okay, so I'll just start. My name is Dylan Lee, aka Dylan Digital. I went to school for business management or entrepreneurial studies, 4-year degree in Paul Smith's. It's like upstate New York, way up there, 45 minutes away from Canada, kind of thing. Some of my hobbies and interests: I like working out, I love playing video games, of course, and I love watching anime and reading personal finance books on my whenever I'm not doing content creation and stuff like that. Some personal achievements. That's a good one. So when I was at the library, I used to work at the library back in college. I did such a good job. I got an award for it for my 4-year degree there. So that was pretty cool. Past personal achievements. Recently, I could easily say I've this year alone, I connected with like about 6 clients for my business, Dylan Digital, and I helped level them up with their resumes, LinkedIn, and also done a few mock interviews as well. So I consider that as a personal achievement. Top 3 games for me is Gears of War. I love it so much. I got a tattoo right here. If you know Dominic Santiago, I got his tattoo. So that's my one and only tattoo. So Gears of War is one. Next one, I gotta say, it has to be, it's a very special RPG to me, is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Very good story there, a very long story at that. 100, I put like 140 hours in that game. And the next game is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I put 150 hours in that game. Geralt's story is just legendary. If you haven't played it, you need to play it. CD Projekt Red made a very good game there. So those are my top 3 games. When it comes to animes, and now the top one, it used to be Naruto, but now it's One Piece. It has a story there it really hits you right there in the feels, and it's a good pick me up whenever I'm feeling down or anything like that. I just remember all the cool stories One Piece has told over the years. So that's a good one. Another one, it has to be Dadadan. Right now, it's really cool. It's very wacky. I like the styling of it. It's pretty wild, just fusing yokai and aliens. Like, who knew? And last but not least is going to be Kabutobachi. I really like this anime. It's new. It's a very good dark setting, and when it uses the top 3 colors, I think it's like red, black, and white very well. It's pretty cool. So any aspirations? Right now, it's of course building up my personal business, Dylan Digital. I basically fuse my talents of being in recruitment for 4 years, HR for 9 years. I fuse that together with video games to make the job hunting process educational and fun. And I do that through teaching sessions with my clients, making YouTube content as well. And I'm actually in the middle of making an online course so I can help others when I'm unable to do it 24/7. So that's pretty cool. And somewhere down the line, of course, streaming and stuff like that to tie everything together and actually play games with people, which would be pretty awesome. So that's basically what I'm focusing on till the end of right now, in addition to, of course, working with people focused companies as well, which is awesome. So that's honestly it. When it comes to what I could bring to the podcast, it's just anything dealing with like resumes or understanding the job hunt. I feel like I could help our viewers understand that both sides of things and kind of have fun with it. Just a little bit of a sneak peek. I'm actually going to be releasing a video here soon where you could have a good understanding of what the STAR method is when it comes to interviews with a little bit of Mario's help. So, stay tuned for that one. So it could level up your mock interviews and in-person interviews as well. So that's what I bring to the table for Level Up Legacy.
Okay, I guess I can go next. All right, stories. I went to school for software engineering. Some of my interests are, or hobbies are gaming, reading, and writing. I really enjoy MMOs and strategy games. As for my reading genres, my favorites would be psychological thrillers, mystery, and horror. As for achievements, I guess if we're going backward, I was handpicked for a nearly full scholarship to Princeton University. Felt really honored by that because it made me feel like my hard schoolwork definitely did pay off because I was always an honor roll or AP student. And once I started college, I was invited to and joined the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. When it comes to gaming, I have been rank one or just simply in the top 0.01% of a lot of different games, especially competitive games, and have even won multiple tournaments. I would give a list, but it's kind of long, so I'll just mention the most recent games I've done that in, which would be League of Legends Wild Rift, Legends of Runeterra, and Magic the Gathering Arena. As for my favorite anime, I kind of would want to add in my favorite manga just because as much as I do love anime, this manga, if it was animated properly, probably would be my favorite anime, which is Alice in Borderland. But if I had to just go with the favorite anime, I probably would say Re:Zero. And as for aspirations, I definitely do want to create video games someday, perhaps get into narration or voice acting, or simply just continue streaming my gameplay while helping others learn how to improve at gaming. And as for what I bring to the podcast, I don't think I bring anything. I'm just a noob that's here to enjoy being surrounded by these amazing guys.
Wow, look at this guy.
You're modest at best. Modest.
So, hey guys, I'm Iconic. I went to school for computer engineering and computer science. My interests and hobbies include, but are not limited to, because I'm always aspiring to grow. I am a streamer of sorts. I used to stream, not full time, but I do stream from time to time whenever I feel like it, pretty much. I am into building computers, texture editing on Blender, doing hex editing, tinkering with technology. I guess I can't really say software development, but I have looked into some of that stuff. I also edit specific fighting game web pages online on Wikipedia or any Deathloop games. So if you guys ever play BlazBlue, DNF Duel, Guilty Gear Strive, I edited some of the pages on there. Some other hobbies that I like to indulge in is gaming, of course, watching anime, reading, writing. What else? I don't know. There's a lot. I kind of just take a dip into everything, I suppose. If something interests me, I will try to pursue it if it's a fun enough thing. Some of my personal achievements, well, I can't say they are as grand as what Dylan and Stories do. When I was younger, I had the chance to go to the hit TV show, as everyone knows when they was a child, Reading Rainbow, to present a book that I have made myself to people. To pretty much, it would have made me into an author at that point in time. But due to some unfortunate circumstances, I got sick and I could not share that kind of talent to the world. So I guess you could say I'm a washed up author, but in that regard, I kind of just use that reading and writing talent just as a pastime. So, I kind of write poems and everything, but I mostly keep all of that to myself because I'm more of a gamer now than an author now. So yeah, that's one of my accolades, I would say. Another thing is I help people in fighting games if they're trying to learn characters or specific matchup experiences in fighting games. I tend to create guides and videos to help them learn and understand how to fight specific characters in fighting games. I also do one-on-one teachings with people from time to time to help them understand how to play specific fighting games and to help them grow as a player in those fighting games. So Yeah, those are some accomplishments. They're very minuscule, but I think the value of an accomplishment is dependent on how much you value it. So, yeah, my top three favorite games would have to be Fantasy Star Online series. It's a series that I've grown up with, and my brothers have introduced to me, and I fell in love with it immediately. Another series I would say is, let me see, Final Fantasy 14. I love the music. I love the character designs. I love the combat. It's a pretty addictive game, and it's one that I hold dear in my heart as of recently. And the final game is Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because that's the fighting game that kind of took me off to a path of me wanting to play more fighting games in the future. And it's a game that I spent way too much time playing. I'm talking thousands of hours. And I even went to tournaments. I went to grand openings of the sequel, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it was an amazing experience. So that game is near and dear to my heart. Some top anime that I like, the first and foremost, I would have to say Shana is one of my top anime. It's a very old anime, and I'm pretty sure not many people has heard about it, but it's an incredible anime that I hold dear to my heart. Another anime that I like to watch is To Love Ru. It's another old anime. It's kind of a harem comedy anime, so it might not be on a lot of people's lists, but it's an anime that I watched when I was younger that made me laugh more than I could. It was extremely funny to me as a child. And the last anime I would say is Angel Beats. It has incredible music, incredible characters, and I will say that's probably one of the only anime that actually made me cry at the ending of it. So it's a very lovely anime. So those are the three anime that I really put above everything else. They're extremely old, but they're gold. So I think you guys should definitely get into watching some of them. Any aspirations? Well, I want to start streaming more. I do want to produce more content on my channel. I do want to enter more tournaments for fighting games, because I can't say I have a knack for it, but I want to get into that scenario because I feel like it's a fun experience. It's definitely an experience. I want to work on my editing craft. I want to get better at editing, probably animating, probably working with 3D models and textures. I already have my foot in the door. I just have to really put some more work into it. But yeah, I just want to work on perfecting what I already do, not to profit off of it, but just to know that I can do it. And what I can bring to this podcast, it's probably not much, but I want to bring my experiences with the games that I have played to the majority. And I also want to help people understand if there are things that they don't understand about certain fighting games. I want to help them understand about them. And I also want to bring my own unique opinions and a twist on the topics that we discuss here on this podcast with, just my thoughts, and hope that people can appreciate, my opinions and have a good time with us.
I'm Lord P. I went to school for computer network technology as a associate's level, and then I received a bachelor's in art with a focus in graphic design. My interests and hobbies would be more or less music. I love music. I love making music as well. I not instruments, but like through like Mixcraft or Logic Pro of that nature, and watching anime as well as learning how to make new dishes, like food dishes. I just learned how to make jollof rice. I didn't perfect it yet, but it's coming. It's on its way. I definitely perfected the meat portion of it as far as like the stewing of it. So it's like really really tender and like super super good. I one of my I must say it's a honorable mention of an accolade. I am the twin brother to a what he said had washed up Arthur to I we used to like really like sit down when we were kids and kind of like think about these like really plan out books and like really write these books down, like storylines and stuff like that, and then like recreate them, react them, and it was really really dope at the time. All funny games, and it actually like like it got picked and was successful. So I'm gonna say that that's one of my accolades, to be a twin brother to a good good writer. I Personal achievements of mine is that I was able to, during the pandemic, bring two different organizations together to still combat the decrease of like reading with kids within the city. I I cannot fully like mention the two different organizations' names at the time. But I brung both organizations together to do what's called a read aloud, where every it was like a Saturday of like I want to say it was themed. So there was a read aloud that happened around Christmas time, that members of both organizations came together to then read to kids age range from 2 up, and I we talked about all different types of holidays during the December months. I Another achievement, or like multiple achievements, is that while going to school for my bachelor's track, I was able to join the Student Government Association, as well as a whole bunch of other clubs. I And the Student Government Association at that time was under one demographic, and during that year we fought hard tooth and nail to basically make sure that there was diversity within that club, and we was able to then provide funds financially to other clubs that was also within the like diverse background. I With that being said, I started a pre-law fraternity on campus, as well as I joined, so this is more of like personal achievements. I joined a personal no I'm saying personal professional arts fraternity called Gamma Xi Phi, where I became a program director. It's like an alias name for the president of the chapter of New York, as well as I also became, and still is, the vice president, the international vice president of the organization right now. So a lot of heavy loads on my shoulder. Top favorite games with one honorable mention is the first top games will be Day of Reckoning. This is where I learned a whole bunch of rock music from. This is how I started to grow into like understanding like that there's just, it's not just R&B and rap, but there's like a multitude of different genres that I personally like. After Day of Reckoning, I was gonna say WrestleMania 2000, but I don't know if the viewers are are going to understand that. But WrestleMania 2000 has a soft spot in my heart. But Day of Reckoning, Rock Band, and Mario Kart. But the honorable mention of my favorite game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is where I grown to basically be around these lovely fools here to like laugh, not cry, but laugh. Actually, I did cry a couple of times because I was getting smoked all the time in Search and Destroy. I ain't gonna hold you. I was dying, and then I had to
Personal
basically,
oh my god.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I had to like watch stories basically wait till everyone dies so he can basically know that he's being seen. Then he
Yeah.
basically says, yes son," and then he goes and kills the whole team, deactivates the bomb, spinning around, and then he's like, yeah, like that was nothing. And I was just like, yo, I really tried. But that was definitely a great game. It's funny that Iconic mentioned Shakugan no Shana, because when he said that, I was like, yo, he really bringing it back. So my top animes of all time, hands down, Naruto. I don't care what anyone says. All right, it has a great storyline. It was always a tear filler for me, especially when they play that song. That and then he just start, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. It doesn't get praise, but it has to get praise. I'm telling you now, if you haven't watched Yu Yu Hakusho, please watch it. It's definitely a nice old anime. It's good aesthetically on the eyes. It's not as like crazy And I had the other one on the tip of my tongue because I wanted to show like really like how much verse I am, because then it brings like more or less like what I like to see now. Like I'm like open to anything. I maybe my so many animes that's like it's like a Rolodex. I'm just gonna just put it out there. Thundercats.
Okay.
Yes, I said it. Thundercats. Me and Iconic had a VHS tape that was recorded. It was a 6 hour long tape. But if you play that tape, every single it was like 6 hours of like Thundercats intro, outro. And when you fell asleep on one episode, you will wake up to that same episode in that same time frame, and you feel like that tape stopped the minute you went to sleep
No.
and it started playing the minute you woke up. That's how
Wow.
crazy that tape was. I but yeah, that's top animes. I would like to start a personal podcast where I speak about funny events, sad events of like of me, like of my account, like my views on like the world, or just like a react channel, but then also more or less like a therapeutic channel. I do feel like mental health is definitely on the rise. Like everyone should go get, mentally checked and like tap in with your male
Hmm.
friends. This is just a plug.
Mhm.
And as well as help other organizations, nonprofits, as well as nonprofits that deal with art. Like I want to be a part of like a board. I definitely want to be that man who goes in the board meetings, sits down and just listen to what they're saying and like, oh, this is how we're gonna do it. And I just like slam my hands on the table and everyone just looks at me and goes like, what's going on? And I'm like, you're doing it all wrong. You have to do it this. And
Lord.
here's the study of da, 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 da. Like, like I want to be that type of person, but I also like I do have a knack in the nature for like building youth developments. So like
Mm.
I love to be in the background but help out with the community. I feel like as you already seeing now, like the vibe, the energy, you know what I mean? Like this is what I could bring to the pod. Just like I honestly am really like curious to like what's happening in the gaming world, because there's a lot of like certain things that I do not know about, and I'm definitely going to be like asking and like trying to figure out like what's what. But as far as anime, like I think I could bring some like kind of taste, like some like new taste to the pod in regards to anime. And yeah, we just want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Level Up Legacy podcast, which this is our first episode ever. I can't wait to just like dive in and like talk to these lovely guys here, iconic stories and digital, about like what's happening in the gaming world. Please guys, the only way we can keep going is if you share and subscribe, also like the videos, thumbs up. It's just amazing that we get to like come back together, especially since like the last time we really was together was like in high school, right? Like we haven't like
Yeah,
all
it's
the
been a
wow.
while.
It's been a while since I saw you. Sorry. I But yeah, we do post. We're gonna try to post every Sunday, so please be on the lookout for our videos every Sunday.
So wherever you are, wherever you may be, it is never too late to level up your legacy. Thanks for tuning in.